Hi, I'm Sarah Gabriel, former special education teacher turned social entrepreneur and founder of In Good Company. We help businesses build thriving teams by giving them the confidence and tools to effectively lead employees with disabilities. This podcast is for leaders creating interability workplaces. Together, we'll dig into what it takes to lead with both heart and business savvy and build workplaces where contributors of all abilities are not just included, but essential. Welcome to In Good Company. Hello, everyone. Today, we are welcoming Heather Sudduth, who has served as housekeeping manager at Shepherd Hotel for 2.5 years, where she leads day-to-day efforts to train, mentor, and support a broadly able team. Located in Clemson, Shepherd Hotel is a boutique hotel that actively employs up to 40% adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, many from the Clemson Life program, integrating them into the real hospitality roles with full responsibilities. Heather, thank you so much for being here with us today. We've talked to a lot of founders of businesses like Shepherd Hotel, but we haven't had the opportunity yet to talk to many managers who are on the ground day to day working with these tremendous teams. So I am so excited to have you here today. And for starters, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your career and what brought you to Shepherd?
Hi, I'm Heather Sudduth. I am the housekeeping manager at the Shepherd Hotel in downtown Clemson, South Carolina. I've been here 2.5 years. I came from another hotel before this one. Before I got into the hospitality industry, was a dispatcher for a police department. So I kind of definitely stepped out of my realm of what I knew and understood. I'm also a veteran of the United States Air Force. So my leadership skills and all that stuff, how I operate, might be a tad bit different than others. But I feel like it works really well in the hotel industry as far as how my management style goes and all that kind of stuff.
What a unique and wonderful background. Heather, thank you for your service. One, and two, I can already tell based on our previous conversations we've had leading up to this recording that you are a tremendous leader. And I'm excited for the audience to get to hear today some examples of how you lead your team. So for starters, give us an idea or a peek into a day in the life of your work at Shepherd Hotel.
Okay, so depending on how busy we are is honestly how my day goes. So if we're super busy and I have the staff, I do not have to clean. I'm able to kind of sit down, do admin work, that kind of thing. But if we're super busy and I don't have the staffing, I'm upstairs cleaning alongside my housekeepers. So I feel like my management might be a tad bit different. I understood when I got hired that I was going to be a working manager. But I feel like we're slowly trying to transition me out of cleaning and being more of like a managing on the outside, going and inspecting the rooms. If there's any issues that need to get handled, I'm able to kind of take care of those. If there's anything that needs to be done in the hotel that no one's currently doing that needs to get done, I can jump in and help do that. So it just really depends on how busy we are. Football weekends are super crazy because we are always fully packed in the hotel and absolutely love it because I honestly feel like my team thrives better on chaos. And I also enjoy that because I feel when we slow down, you can tend to get complacent. So I feel like the busier that we are, it kind of keeps me and my team on our toes. So I do enjoy that.
I can only imagine Clemson football and all the fans. And I'm sure with Shepherd Hotel being open a few years now, you've probably got your returning guests now who are loyal and looking forward to that stay every season. So that's probably really fun. Heather, you told me a funny story about how you came to join the team. Maybe not funny, but I love this story. Tell the audience how you came to work at the Shepherd Hotel.
Okay, so I am a little different when it comes to the hotel. I didn't understand or know about the mission when I applied for the job. So I was currently working at a hotel and I went to go tan in the tanning bed next door. And I ran into the maintenance guy at the time. And I actually worked with him at the last hotel I was working at. And so I had my uniform on at the current hotel I was working at. And I run into him and he brings me in and tours me of the facility. And I just remember looking and thinking, oh my gosh, this place is beautiful. It's unlike any hotel I've ever seen. And he told me so many unique things about the hotel. For example, every wall in the hotel has a Bible verse written on it. And it's just amazing. Just the atmosphere is just very welcoming. It's just amazing. So when I was getting ready to leave, he's like, we're actually hiring. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, I should put in for it. And I was like, okay. So again, knew nothing of the mission. I went online, saw the posting of the job, and I told my husband, I was like, this is an amazing hotel. I don't feel this job is going to be open forever. It's in downtown Clemson. I'm sure it's super busy. And so I started praying on it. I was like, if this is where I'm supposed to go, this is where I need to go. Like, let me know. Give me a sign, something. And so I got a text message or a call from one of the AGMs over the rooms and was like, hey, we'd love to interview you. I was like, okay, cool, awesome. And what I felt was absolutely amazing is I met with the AGM, the assistant general manager over rooms, but I also met with the owner of the hotel. And to me, that spoke volumes that the owner of a hotel had the time to sit me down and talk with me and ask me like the hard questions, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's the biggest regret you have in your life? And it was just like, wow, this is making me think. And I'm one of those kind of people that I don't really sugarcoat things. I'm very open, very honest. You're going to get 100% me every single time. And so I thought that was just absolutely amazing. And then they actually offered me the job, and I was just over the moon excited, and I have been here ever since.
That does not surprise me hearing that. Was it Rick that joined the conversation?
Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, Rick interviewed me, and I just thought that was just absolutely amazing that the owner of the hotel took the time out of his busy day to interview me for an hour. Like,
Yeah.
it was incredible. It was such an incredible experience for sure.
I've had conversations with Rick about how he goes about selecting his leaders to lead his amazing team. And he has a very clear vision for the leaders that he selects and why. And he hires for heart first and foremost. And I've noticed, again, this was pre-recording, but I noticed that you have similar values, I think, in the way that you lead your team members. So let's start talking about the team members under your care now. How do you go about training your team? And just as a reminder, audience, the Shepherd Hotel has about 40%, I believe, of their staff members as individuals with disabilities.
Yeah, so I honestly start with the interview process. Our interview questions are not like most interviews, so it's not one of those. What do you see yourself doing in 5 years? It's, what is your superpower? What recharges your battery? That kind of thing. Where everybody knows that interviews can be you're nervous and you want to be on your P's and Q's. You want to answer it the right way that you're thinking that they want to hear. And that's just not the case, because I tell people at an interview, I can teach anybody to clean. That's not an issue. I'm looking for somebody with a good heart. I'm looking for somebody that's going to treat every individual here, disability or not, with respect. And I can leave them with them for their shift and know that they are treated kindly, and I don't worry about any issues with them. So the way that I started is just through the interview process. And I let individuals know that don't have a disability. Hey, just letting you know, we do have SATs, is what we call those individuals, is special ability team members that you'll be working alongside. And, if I kind of get the vibe that that's not something they're going to like, I'm not going to hire them. I want somebody that I know is going to be a good fit for what we have here, for what the mission of the hotel is. And then when they get hired, I put them with one of my housekeepers. I let them know the very first day, hey, you're going to be working with so-and-so. They're here from this time to this time. Just take them upstairs, kind of see where they're at. Because one thing that I love about the hotel as well is we don't necessarily put people where we want them to be. We put them based off of where they're good at. If there may be somebody I hire is good, I'm thinking it's going to be good to go upstairs and clean a room, but I see that it's not really working. Maybe I'll see if they can go to the restaurant or they can go help at the front desk. So I'm not going to sit there and put them in a place that they're not going to enjoy. I want them to enjoy what they do. So working alongside somebody definitely helps. And then I kind of bounce them around. I don't keep them with the same housekeeper every time, because I've had Clemson Life students that come in and they're like, am I working with so-and-so today? And I'm like, actually, no, you're going to be working with so-and-so instead, because I want them to kind of make sure that we're not playing favoritism. Everybody works differently. They're going to get all those different work styles with them, that maybe housekeeper A is showing them something different than housekeeper B, but they're all coming to the same conclusion as what the room is supposed to look like. So it's just one of those things where I try to put people with somebody they're going to be good at and help them grow and learn differently than maybe somebody else would have.
Did you know there are nearly 200 small businesses in the U.S. who are on a mission to employ individuals with disabilities, and we want to send shoppers their way? That's where you come in. Join the In Good Company passport game and support businesses that are moving the needle for disability employment. Here's how you play. Choose 3 businesses featured on our passport, snap photos with each visit or online purchase, and share them on your Instagram. Tag IGC with us and the business you supported, and we'll send you a prize. Grab your passport and instructions in the show notes or on our Instagram page today.
So I had an individual who was a Clemson Life graduate, started out in housekeeping before he graduated in housekeeping, but he has a physical disability. And trying to find the right person for the right job in housekeeping it can be difficult with somebody with a physical disability because it is a very physically demanding job. You have to lift mattresses up to make a bed. So we started him out in housekeeping, and then he graduated, and then a position got open in valet where it was basically like a valet ambassador. And this individual actually got offered that position. And I felt that was absolutely amazing because Rick always talks about right person, right seat. And so I felt that it was just absolutely awesome because this young man was just, the best personality and just the kindest heart. And I just feel that it's so awesome that he gets to see the guests as soon as they get out of their vehicles and welcome them with a smiling face. And he's just so positive and he's just so happy all the time. And I absolutely love that about him. And I love that we actually have him employed here now. So that's just, to me, is absolutely amazing.
It makes me think if I were talking to, say, a typical hotel that doesn't have a team with the same, did you call it SATs, special ability team members as
Yes.
Shepherd Hotel? I think someone could look at this story and say maybe he's limited in his ability to perform the housekeeping duties, but by keeping him in the seat back of house, housekeeping, we're like, the guests were actually missing out on something. They were missing out on the experience of being greeted by a warm, personable, enthusiastic team member.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't just in the best interest of that team member. It was in the best interest of your guests as well. And what a fantastic story of really just taking the time to pause, evaluate. The conversation doesn't just have to stop at this isn't working in this role. It's this may not be the best seat. Let's put him in a different seat that serves him, but also serves our guests and the rest of our team better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we try to do. We don't want to necessarily hold anybody back because they have a disability. It's one of those things where maybe they're not good where they're at, but let's see if there's a different aspect of the hotel or a different area that they could bloom in and just become amazing. And it's one of those things where I love that we don't judge based on disability, whether you have a mental or physical. Like, we're going to find the right place for you and we're going to keep you as long as we can.
That's a great story and a great example to make that point. Thanks for sharing that one. So there was one other story you shared that I absolutely love that exemplifies just the complete joy that you get to see unfold when someone experiences work and learning new skills. And I'll just stop talking because I want you to tell the story of the other employee that you shared with me earlier.
Yeah. So again, we have Clemson Life students who come and work in the hotel each semester. And I had a young female. She was just so bubbly and just her personality was just as big as the stars. And she was working in housekeeping and she loved cleaning the bathrooms. Like, that was her thing. She was just so excited to walk in every morning. Am I cleaning the bathrooms? Yes, ma'am, you are. And so she actually ended up asking her parents for cleaning supplies for Christmas. And so after Christmas break, she came back and she's like, Miss Heather, guess what I got for Christmas? And I was like, what did you get? I got glass cleaner. I got rags. I got a mop. I got a lint roller because we use lint rollers to get the hair out of our showers and our bathroom floors. And she was just so excited to tell me that that's what she got for Christmas. She will give her sisters tips on how to clean and her parents and anybody that'll listen. And it's just absolutely amazing. And I absolutely loved the fact that that's what she got for Christmas.
Heather, did you ever experience this much enthusiasm in your previous team that you led?
I did not. Unfortunately, the one thing that I do love about the Shepherd is we're a team. I give my housekeepers their room assignments that they clean for the day, and we rally together at the end, and then we all leave at the same time. My last hotel did not do that. They would get their rooms and then they would leave as soon as it was over. So I love the fact that it's a team team effort here. We'd never leave anybody stranded. It might be one of those things where I see that somebody's got a room that hadn't even started yet and it's 3:00 and check-in is at 4. If I'm not cleaning that day, I'm going upstairs with my cleaning cart and I'm starting in that room. I'm going to make the bed for them. I'm going to do the hard surfaces. I will vacuum. We will figure out how we can come together as a team to meet our goal of cleaning all the rooms every day. So that's I love that about this hotel.
I can see it too when I've come to visit. You are truly an exceptional team, beginning to end of a stay, and I believe it. So the standards are high, especially in housekeeping. I truly, having worked with several hotels as clients, I have come to see and believe that housekeeping is the heartbeat of a hotel. You make or break a guest's experience. They're not always seeing the housekeepers and their teams, but they are there making sure that you as a guest have a wonderful, comfortable stay. And in order for that to happen, the standards have to be high. Nobody wants to find a hair in their bed before they go to sleep after a long day of travel. So how do you and your other team leaders go about keeping the standard high? And what I think people can wonder sometimes, especially once they know your mission and see your team, is how do they maintain that standard when you have special ability team members in your mix?
Yeah, so sometimes it can be a little bit harder because if I get an employee that's never worked with somebody with a disability before, it's different knowing somebody out from church, but it's also different working with somebody with a disability, right? So what I tell my housekeepers is if you're working with an SAT, whether they're doing the bathroom, they're making a bed, I need you to go behind them and just kind of walk through with them. Let them know, hey, this is what you missed. Not to be rude and disrespectful, but just bring it to their attention that maybe next time I forgot a hair in the shower, or I forgot to clean the toilet all the way, or I didn't fold the towels the right way. So I definitely tell my housekeepers to walk through with them. And then I also will bring it to their attention as well. And it's not to criticize, it's just to bring awareness, right? So, sometimes it can be a little more difficult, but then other times it's like, oh my gosh, you made this bed. And it's just, I did. And it's just the best thing because I will look at that bed and I'm like, that looks like I made that bed. Like you did an amazing job. I love giving positive reinforcement, right? Sometimes all you hear is the negative and people harp on the negative all the times. But I love giving positive reinforcement. I love saying, I walked your bathroom today and your bathroom was awesome. It looked like I cleaned it and it was just absolutely amazing. Chef's kiss. And the positive reinforcement I feel is just like the best thing. I try to go about and just do that versus a negative. Now, granted, I have to acknowledge the negative because that's something that was done wrong. But I also like to be positive and say, hey, you might have left a few fingerprints on that shower, but it's all right. Next time we'll walk through, we'll make sure that we don't have that happen again.
Are there any tools that you use as leadership or even put in the hands of your team members to help support consistency?
Yeah, so every housekeeper that gets hired, whether they're an SAT or not, they get a pretty much a rundown from start to finish of manual of how to clean. And they're told that they can use that every single day that they come to work. And then it's also one of those things where if I walk in and I see one of my SATs cleaning the bathroom, it's, okay, what have you done? Okay, awesome. What are you going to do? Like, what's next? To kind of keep them on their toes, to keep them from getting complacent. Because again, we do get slow sometimes, but they get that printout and they're able to reference that at any time. And then like I said, they're also working with somebody. So it's one of those things where, again, I have amazing people that I employ and my SATs are comfortable working with them. So I feel that they're also comfortable asking them questions, asking them, hey, what can I do? What did I do wrong? What can I get better on? That kind of thing.
Yeah, the process of self-evaluation, teaching them how to evaluate their own work that's a good skill to learn for any and all of us. You've mentioned Clemson Life a few times now, and for our audience members who don't know about Clemson Life, they are one of the roughly 300 IPSE programs in our country, and IPSE stands for Inclusive Post-Secondary Education. They're programs within our universities across the country specifically designed to accept students with intellectual disabilities and train them up on life skills and job skills and any skill that's necessary to live an independent life. And so the Shepherd Hotel has a great partnership with Clemson Life. They send you students and interns, and they kind of work with you all to get those students acclimated into what is for many of them their first job. So you have the special privilege of also welcoming in very green new employees. A little bit more background. I think our audience, most of our listeners will know this, but unfortunately, roughly 80% of job seekers with disabilities in our country have not yet found a job. And when an employer does give them that chance, it just might be their very first job. And there might be some unique challenges or support needs that come with that. So, have you seen that, Heather? And how have you supported that?
Yeah, so I mean, we do face that all the time. It's one of those things where I'm able to talk to the parents of this individual, and it's like they've never been able to work before, or they tried working somewhere else and it just didn't work out. I'm so sorry that happened, but here we're family. We treat everyone with respect, and I just have so much love for everybody that I work with. And so I feel like our environment is just so different. It's so welcoming, and it just, it literally is just unlike any other place that you could possibly ever work for. And so it's awesome being able to talk with some parents who their child has never worked before and seeing them thrive in a working environment. I can only imagine, I'm a mother, and I can only imagine how that would feel, how proud that would make me feel that their son or daughter has a job for the first time because of what this place is allowing them to do. And it's just absolutely awesome. Like, it's hard to put in words almost, because it's just so amazing that we're literally changing lives with the fact of just something so simple that other people take for granted, of employing somebody. So it's just awesome.
And the pride of holding a job and loving your job so much you go ask for cleaning supplies for Christmas. I don't think I've ever met someone who loves their job that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could all learn something from that. And you're right, you're making a difference for these team members and their families, and the teachers that prepared them and the job coaches that they've worked with. It really is the next thing in this conversation around disability and the disability experience. Adulthood is a big question mark for a lot of students and children who are approaching the end of the school system. So to know that there are places like Shepherd Hotel that are not only welcoming, but they're showcasing the amazing abilities of this community, that they bring things to the table that no one else does. And that's amazing. You are a tremendous, beautiful, excellent guest experience. And so I know, because I hear this all the time, there are people looking at Shepherd Hotel saying, well done, and how can we do that too? And so with that comes more managers who will be learning some of the lessons that you've learned over the last 2.5 years. And I'm curious, Heather, what would you say to a manager who might be welcoming a team member onto their team for the first time who has special abilities?
Yeah, so the first thing that I would say is be patient. And I know that's so much easier said than done, because I have tried to find patience my whole entire life, and I'm still learning. I'm human. But, just be patient and understanding. You're getting individuals who might learn differently. I have a young male who is mid-20s and can't read. So it's, you try to figure out how you can better them. But it's not only that, it's just you really don't realize how much they're changing you for the better, right? So it's one of those things where you learn about so many different people, so many walks of life, and you just really have to just sit back and say, okay, today was tough. Tomorrow's going to be better. We got through it. There might have been some issues, but it's okay. We're learning from them. We're going to do our best. And it's just one of those things where you can't really plan for anything, because so many things just happen out of nowhere and out of your control. But it's just to be able to just kind of be understanding and have patience and just listen. 9 times out of 10, my employees will tell me what's wrong. If they walk in and I see that they're not like their usual bubbly self, it's, hey, what's going on? Like, you seem down today. And they'll tell you, because we have that environment here. We have that where we're comfortable with each other to say, yeah, I'm not feeling good, or I've got some issues back home, or whatever it is. It's one of those things where it really does feel like a big family. We're just so understanding of each other, and we're able to communicate, and just the environment is what I feel helps us succeed in the mission that we have for the hotel.
That is crystal clear when you walk in. Again, like I said, beginning to end, the guest experience just you can see it. Your team truly lives that out, and it's fantastic. And I hope many, many other companies see this, hear this, and think maybe we could do that too. And maybe it would benefit our team members, our guests, our leaders, everybody. Heather, this conversation has flown by and it is already time to wrap it up. We're a big fan of shout outs here at In Good Company and shining the spotlight on people who are doing good work. So, who would you like to give a shout out to today?
So I would like to give a shout out to one of my housemen. His name is Sean Halsey. He literally is the hardest working guy that I know. I mean, he comes in and will clock in early because I've asked him to, because the trash mans came a little bit earlier than normal, or he just goes above and beyond. And I really wish I could clone him and make 5 more of him, because he is just that awesome. I'm just so thankful that he is on our team, and just so absolutely just blown away by the strong work ethic that he has. And just, again, if I wish I could just clone 5 of him, I would be happy.
I think that's the ultimate compliment if you want 5 more of anyone. I mean,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
right. Well, I think that's a great way to wrap it up today, Heather. I know that our listeners will be not only encouraged, but equipped to go and do the same thing after hearing your story. So thank you.
Thanks for joining us on In Good Company. I hope this conversation gave you what you needed to take your next step. Special thanks to Georgia Tech's Institute for Leadership and Social Impact for the recording space and the coffee. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, share, or leave a review to help more leaders like you find us. Want more tools, frameworks, or a community of like-minded advocates? Head over to igcwithus.com to learn more. We'd love to connect. Until next time, keep building what wasn't there before. You're in good company.